Hi. Okay, so this is really uncomfortable because I'm not sitting, I'm not standing up. It's something in between, but I kind of like the background, the light, and everything. So let's roll with it. But yeah, on this video, I wanted to talk about. I don't know why I keep doing this. I want to talk about my story, I guess, because the first question that I get. So I'm not living in my home country. I moved. It's gonna be 3 years ago soon. And one of the questions that I get when I meet new people is why this country, the city that I chose, and how did you do it? So I guess I'm gonna answer this question. I really want to say that people in the comment sections have asked for this, but it's not the case. But in my mind, it is the case. So yeah, let's go tell this story. So I'm from a really small town. Let's start with that. It's like 10,000 people. Not even that when I was younger, when I was living there. Now it is more than 10,000. And since really, really young, I really like the idea of going somewhere else abroad. Like, I knew that I could move in my country. I'm from Spain, I didn't say that, in my home country, but I wanted to go somewhere else. And I feel like this seed was implanted in my head because I got really into YouTube. Like at first, it was Twitter. This is not gonna work. Okay, now I'm seated, so weird position, but let's go with it. So yeah, I got really into Twitter because for me it was an escape from my colleagues at school. This sounds really bad, but I always felt like I didn't belong for some reason. I don't want to be like, oh, I was so quirky, I was the weird kid, because I don't want to say that. I feel like it's really like pick me vibes. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of friends. I was never popular, like at all. And yeah, I felt like I didn't belong for whatever reason. So I got really into Twitter. And back then I was learning English, but I didn't have the skills. I was at high school, I think. So yeah, that was not an option to meet people outside of Spain. So yeah, I got into Twitter and I started following people, and my timeline, I think it was called, it was from people all around Spain, and it was really cool to kind of connect with them and also read people that felt like didn't belong either, because I felt like I was on my own and I couldn't talk about it with anyone in my life because I didn't have that many friends. My family would be like, this is just bullshit, like move on. So I felt like I needed an outlet, and I found Twitter, and for a while it was really, really helpful. I feel like it really helped me like create my personality, if that makes sense. But then later on I got into YouTube, and this was even more eye-opening for me because it was not just text or pictures. Like, it was people explaining their life and making their livelihood about it, but this is another topic. But now that I knew some English from school, I was able to understand these videos, and luckily it was just normal people talking about what they do or doing funny skits or whatever, but it was nothing really, I don't know, the vocabulary they were using, it was really, really simple, so that really helped me. And that's when I started thinking, there's people who speak English and they can go basically anywhere in the world, and this opens a lot of doors. So I feel like I want to do that as well. Not being a YouTuber, but just being able to learn a language, and by that just going absolutely anywhere. Like, the opportunities this would open would be a lot. So since I was a teenager, I really wanted to go somewhere else, because I feel like we don't choose where we live, where we start our life, but we can choose what are we doing later. So I don't like the idea that just because you are born in this exact place, you need to stay in that exact place for your whole life. So yeah, since I was really young, the seed was implanted, let's say, that. And then later on in my life, like I went to college and I saw that the English they were teaching me at college and before college, it wouldn't get me anywhere. And still right now, I don't have a perfect English level. I'm completely aware, but I'm really proud of myself, of the level that I'm getting at. But yeah, so I was kind of forced by my mom to join the School of Languages, as we call it in Spain. And that was really helpful. And I remember at the moment, I was crying because I really didn't want to join this School of Languages, because that was something to do on top of my regular assignments and everything from high school. So I really didn't like the idea. But my mom, for some reason, she thought that that would be really beneficial for me, and I will be forever grateful, because that really, really helped me get to another level than my classmates were just not reaching, because the classes at school, the English classes at school, they were not it. Nothing against the professors. I feel like it's the whole system or the way they were teaching it or the way we were trying to learn it. I don't know, there's a lot of things, but in general, Spanish people have a really hard time learning English and being able to speak it really well or just well. And I don't know why. I can do some research or you can do some research. But yeah, in my case, I was kind of lucky that my mom forced me to go to this School of Languages, because I was a little bit more advanced compared with my fellow classmates. But yeah, then when I got into college, the idea of going abroad was even stronger in myself, and I really wanted to do we call it Erasmus, like going somewhere else in Europe. So I studied in Spain, and usually in Spain, when you are on your third year of college, or maybe your last year, your fourth year, doing your bachelor's, there's an option to go, like, keep on learning the bachelor's that you're learning, but in another country, and kind of you will get the same amount of credits, and it will not interfere with your career development, with your bachelor's development. And that idea sounded really, really fun. And for most people, it was the first time going abroad and experiencing this, like going to another country, like trying to learn another language, meeting new people, foreigners, and all these cool things. And the idea sounds absolutely amazing. And I don't know if the system is the same at every college, but at least at my college, they were not paying for shit. I want to say that they were giving you a little bit of allowance, but you were the one that were supposed to find the ticket plans, the housing, the absolutely everything. And I don't know why in my mind they were helping you quite a lot with this once you choose to do an Erasmus. So they were giving you some financial help, and they were helping you with the whole process. But at least in my university, this was not the case. They were not helping you at all. So the people that really wanted to go, it's because they had the means to do it, or their family had the means to do it. And I'm really grateful for my family, because I was able to do my bachelor's without working at the same time, and I will be forever grateful for that. But I couldn't afford just going abroad just because I wanted to. So the Erasmus thing that I really wanted to do, it never happened, but it's completely fine. And then when I started working, I was really lucky to start working like in a good job, quote unquote, as soon as I finished my bachelor's degree. And since I had a good job, I was able to save some money. And since I started working, my goal in mind, it was to save a little bit and go abroad somewhere. I don't know if I wanted to work abroad, if it's just traveling a little bit. I don't know why, but my goal was to go abroad to improve my English and to practice my English and to be fluent at English, because it opens a lot of doors. And everyone around me was just happy staying in Spain, and that's completely fine. Again, different journeys, different paths. But for me, I wanted something else, something more. So since the very beginning, since I started working, I did it with this mindset, like I'm working because I want to save a little bit, and at some point I want to go abroad. And of course, when you start working, and in my case, I really like what I was doing and stuff, it's difficult to put an end to it. And it sounds really weird, but I stayed in that same job for 5 years. And it's a long time, but it was also the first time that I moved to another city. So again, I'm from a really small town. I lived there since I was born until I was 18, let's say 10,000 people. Then I moved to a bigger city, but still it was not that big. I don't know how many people. And then after studying there for my bachelor's for 4 years, I moved to Barcelona. And then is when I realized that I can do basically whatever I want, as long as I don't hurt other people and I don't bother my parents or my friends with the money situation. So just being in Barcelona and seeing people with different walks of life, it really helped me understand that I can go abroad if I want, or I can stay if I want. But basically the whole point is that I could do what I wanted, as long as I don't bother other people and I'm paying everything with my own money because I'm working and I'm able to save a little bit. I'm able to save a little bit because even if I have a good job, I meant good job as in for people who just finished their bachelor's. It was not an amazing job. It was in the non-profit sector, so the salaries were not there, but I really liked what I was doing and the salary was okay. So yeah. So after 5 years, when it reached that mark, I'm like, okay, I was doing this in order to go abroad because I really wanted to do this. And I've been enjoying my life in Barcelona, like the job that I'm doing, the things I do with my friends and everything. I've been having a really good time, but still the whole point was to move to a different country at some point. And now it's been 5 years. So why not now? Because the perfect moment will never arrive. I feel like sometimes we wait for the perfect moment to arrive, and we're just waiting patiently for a sign or for something to happen. The perfect moment is not coming to you, like you create those moments. So I don't know why when it hit the 5 years mark, I'm like, okay, I have to do it. Like, I don't know how, but I have to do it. I have to quit and I have to start thinking about how am I going abroad, because that was the whole point since I've been a teenager. So of course I didn't quit, and then I found the options to go to a different country because I was a little bit afraid of not having income and stuff. I feel like in the movies they just quit, they do whatever they want, but I'm a little bit more, I don't know, logical, if you might say it so. So someone at my work, and I will be forever grateful to Laura. If you're watching this, you're probably not watching this, but Laura really helped me because she was like, oh, I know that you want to go somewhere else, and they're doing this volunteering abroad, and maybe that's something interesting for you. And I'm like, okay, this sounds fun. I don't want to volunteer, I want to work abroad. But since working abroad, the idea terrifies me because I have to find the job, I have to find a place, I need to find like people around me, like the paperwork if I go to another country. It was really intimidating. So with this volunteering, what they were helping you is that you go volunteer in a non-profit in another country in Europe, and in exchange, basically you were working because it was almost 8 hours Monday to Friday. It was 7 hours, I think, if I remember correctly. So 7 hours per day, Monday to Friday, basically like working, but they call it volunteering because you don't get a full salary. They help you find a house, they help you with the paperwork, they pay for the flights. So it was a good way for me to put my toes on this whole idea of going abroad. And I'm like, this sounds really cool, like let me try. Because I've seen people going to other countries and maybe they didn't have the means, but I always thought, oh, these people have rich parents, or they, I don't know, they fucking won the lottery. But in my case, my parents did everything they could for me, like they did an amazing job. But of course, the resources were limited, and I cannot ask for more because they already gave me absolutely everything I have, and I'm forever grateful. Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. You're not watching this, but still, I thought, what's my plan? Like, what can I do to go abroad if I don't have a lot of money? So this volunteering thing was the door that I was looking for, or the window. I don't know what's the expression, but yeah, it was the way out. Let's say it. So I joined this volunteering program, and how it works is you apply to different places all over Europe, and it was basically like finding a job. You do some interviews, and at some point, if people like you, they hire you for the volunteering program, and you start the whole process to move there with the help of this organization from Barcelona, in my case, from your home country. So it was fairly easy because I applied to different places. I did a couple of interviews, and from Finland, of all places, Helsinki, Finland, there was this really cool organization helping migrant women get more included in society via sport, via exercise. And this idea alone is absolutely amazing. And I come from the nonprofit world. In Barcelona, I was working there for 5 years. So it was a really good fit. So I did the interview, they liked me, and I moved to Finland. And I spent there 1 year doing this volunteering program. If anyone wants more information about anything that I'm saying, this volunteering program or whatever, the organization that I did it with, anything, just... Oh, that's a message from Tinder. Okay, I didn't pause to check the messages, I paused to put my phone on silence. But yeah, so at this point, I was in Finland, I was in a new country, and in Finland, the official language is Finnish, but apparently a lot of people just speak English, like everyone knows English. It's not like in Spain that everyone speaks Spanish and a little bit of English. Absolutely, I don't want to say absolutely everyone, but most people in Finland, they also speak fluent English. And it's not an official language, I think, I have to check that, but you can just move around just with English. And the whole idea of me moving abroad was to improve my English. So even if it was not London, for example, or Dublin, or these cities where the official language is English, that was an option, a super valid option. And during this program, you had an option to take some Finnish classes, like classes from the language that you were, like, you know what I mean? Like if I was in Finland, I was studying Finnish. If I was in France, I would study French, and all of this. And it was a really cool opportunity to do what I really wanted to do since I was a teenager. So yeah, it was a bit scary because I did it completely on my own, like with this organization and with the help of the volunteering organization, this nonprofit and everything. But talking about friends, I didn't know anyone. But doing it via this volunteering program, then you also get to know lots of other volunteers from Spain and from all around the world. So that really helped to create this social life. I'm not the most social person, but even I was able to create a group of friends. So if I was able to do it, anyone can do it. And yeah, so it was an amazing experience. And after this volunteering project, which was 1 year, then I had to think if I wanted to go back to Spain, if I wanted to stay in Finland, if I liked it, if I wanted to go somewhere else, because I spent 1 year in this bubble. Like, it was the real world, of course, but I had the help of this nonprofit in Spain that helped me move. I had the help of the nonprofit that I was working in Helsinki, and I had some friends who were also volunteers who were going through the same thing, the exact same thing that I was going through. And after 1 year, this had to end. It's the maximum you can enjoy this project. So then I really had to sit and think about my next step. And I started in February. So in February from the next year, I had to make a decision, like what do I want to do with my life? And when I went back for Christmas break to Spain, I came to the conclusion that I don't want to go back to Spain. I'm really happy in Barcelona. I'm really happy in Helsinki. So let's try to stay there. But of course, I cannot stay just without doing nothing. So I applied to internships, to jobs, and to other volunteering things. Basically, internships and jobs. And it's really difficult for anyone to find a job. But luckily, I was able to find an internship with some payment and with a salary. Nothing big, but it was a start. And I did this internship for half a year, for 6 months. And after 6 months, they let me know that they couldn't continue with me. And that was really hard at the moment. It was quite harsh for me because I was not expecting it. And it was the first time in my life that someone was firing me, I guess. I keep doing quotation, but I guess they fired me. I don't know what's the right term. Basically, I had to find some other place to work at. And I started applying like crazy because if you are in another country, you are the only one that can help yourself. Of course, if you are in Spain, you also are the only one who can help yourself. But still, you have some connections, you have your family, you have friends, you have this social circle that can help you at least a little bit with this, at least connect you with someone, and if they see something on LinkedIn they can send it to you, I don't know. But in another country I had a little bit of this, but not so much. So the feeling of being jobless in a foreign country, it was really scary. But luckily I found a job at the university in Helsinki, and this is where I'm at right now. I really like it. I'm really happy. I'm really grateful. But I also know that I work quite hard to get it, because people think that going to another country can be easy, but it can be really tough at times. So for me, this was my journey, basically volunteering program for a year, getting some salary, but not much. I had to take away a big chunk of my what's the word I'm looking for? A big chunk of my savings to enjoy my life here in Helsinki, because I was getting some money, but not a lot. Just to go to the supermarket, I was spending more money that they were giving me. But yeah, I was ready to take some money out from my saving, because I've been wanting to do this for my whole life, basically. So that was not a big deal. And then with the internship, the salary got a little bit better, and also I had to work much more, but still I knew that I had to do it. And now with having a quote unquote good job, I can breathe a little bit more and I can enjoy life a little bit more. But basically the moral of the story is that it took a while. It basically took 2 years for me to have a good job in another country. And I'm really grateful. I don't take this for granted at all, but I also fought for it, if that makes sense. But of course, I'm really grateful, not to God, to myself and to everyone around me. But yeah, I guess this is my story, because I see a lot of international people here in Finland, and some of them have asked me, how did you end up at the university? And I guess this is my story. So now if someone asks, I can just send this video. And everything was kind of connected. Like the volunteering program happened because I was working in non-profits in Spain. Then I did the internship. It was about organizing events, but I was doing communications, because while I was working in Spain, again, I worked there for 5 years in this non-profit, and I got a lot of experience, of course. But also in the meantime, while working full-time, I got my master's degree and I got my postgraduate degree. I don't know how to call it, but it's something between your bachelor's and your master, something in between. So basically I got my titles, let's say, and at times it was quite difficult because I was working, I was studying, and I was learning English at the same time at some point, so it was quite a lot. But all of those sacrifices really helped me when I did what I really wanted to do, that it was living abroad and living this experience. And again, it took a while, but now I can say that I'm happy with how it went, and I'm really happy to have taken the risk to go to another country and to live this experience and everything. So yeah, but I was saying that everything is a bit connected because I did the volunteering project in the nonprofit because I was working for a nonprofit in Barcelona. Then the internship was organizing events, but I was doing communications. And one of the postgraduate degrees that I did back in Spain while I was working, it was related to organizing events. So I guess this helped with this opportunity. And then I got into the university because the university is connected to these events that I was organizing while I was doing the internship. So they needed someone with the expertise, I guess. And I was there, right moment, right time, right place, right time, something like that. So yeah, everything is kind of connected, and you never know how the things that you're doing now or the things that you've done in the past might have repercussions in the future, like good repercussions. So yeah, I guess that's it. And this video is getting quite long, but I really wanted to talk about my story, I guess. The other thing is that maybe going to another country, it was avoiding problems and avoiding real life, because after 5 years you get a little bit stuck. But I feel like it was a good decision. I'm really happy I did it. And I don't know, I feel like moving abroad, it gives you skills that you will not get any other way. It gives you experiences that you are never getting if you stay in your home country. And of course, nothing against just staying in your home country, but for me, I felt like I wanted more. And now with the English, again, it's not perfect, I'm completely aware, but I'm really proud of this, of my English level and everything that I did before getting at this point. And of course, we always want more and better and bigger things. But for now, I cannot honestly say that I'm really happy and I'm really proud of myself. So let's say with that. And I guess that's it. Subscribe, like, and all these things. And see you in the next one.